Every time my hand reaches for yours, I feel the hesitation. I'm sure that you're not sure.
How are you, first of all? How have you been?
Thank you for asking. I'm really good, thank you. So good. Happy.
We had the Valentine's Day last Monday, so I ask you, how do you react to knowing that probably a lot of people had dinner and dated with your music and romantic songs in the background?
I think I get a little shy. I wonder what else they did. You think?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other things too. No, I think it's, you know what? I think that we've been through a lot. The world has been difficult, no? For a long time with the pandemic. So I will take any small part of being a positive force and bringing some love to the world.
About your new album, you said you opened yourself up completely to trying new things. What's the story behind Higher?
Well, the story behind Higher is 20 years. 20 years I've made records. 20 years I learned how to craft and create cinematic arrangements, and I learned how to craft and write, I think, good original songs. 20 years though of making records where I held everything and I produced, I managed, I micromanaged everything. And there's a young guy that I work with named Alan Chang, and he wrote Haven't Met You Yet with me and Home. He wrote a bunch of songs with me, and he said to me before I started to make the record, he said, 20 years you've made great records, you've sold 70 million records, and people really like what you do. He said, wouldn't it be interesting, can you imagine if you let go a little bit and you brought in beautiful people so that they could really help put their imprint onto the songs? And I say, well, why? Why would I do that? I know I like what I'm doing. He said, yes, I know you like what you're doing, but it might be really nice for your audience to get a fresh sound. And so I tried to put my ego away and I said, okay. And I went to these producers and these writers, and I start to really, because of the pandemic, because of Zoom especially, I would start working on a song and then I would send it to the producer or to co-writer. And then they'd work on it for 2 days and then they'd send it back to me. Yeah. And so I couldn't micromanage because it wasn't like you and me sitting in a room together where I could say, no, I don't like that, let's try. No, it was like, this is what you get. But the more and more I found, wow, I like what I'm getting. I really like his idea, or I like her idea, and her concept is really nice. I never would have thought of that, Maybe I wouldn't have let it happen if I was sitting in the room. So it just became magic.
What if it rained? We didn't care. She said that someday soon the sun was going to shine.
And how was it like recording My Valentine with Paul McCartney watching you?
He is I would say he's a very gentle and really unique person. I think that I don't think he has any insecurities. I think he's proven enough times his greatness. And he was just I would say he was very generous with not only his time, but even his constructive criticism. Or he was generous as a producer. He was sensitive, and he never made me feel, I always felt so good. He made me feel like I belonged there, and that, it's funny, man. I didn't have Paul McCartney because Paul McCartney was the Beatles. I didn't have Paul McCartney because I thought, wow, it'll look good to have Paul McCartney. I had Paul McCartney because I think he might be one of the greatest musicians in the entire world. And I knew we could take this song and that he could help me and that he could lift this higher, forgive the pun. And it just, it was fascinating for me to see that he's still fascinated by music. Yeah. To watch him go through the arrangement with Nick Jacobson Larson, who was the arranger, and for him to to talk about, he'd pick out the oboe part and say, wow, that's so cool, man. Like, and he's still the same passion. Like yesterday, I watched the documentary of the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was yes, it's amazing. But it's the same. Like, he still loves music. Like
it was the first day.
Yes, man. That's like, it killed me to see, like, and so we finished the session. And I said, because I sang out in the studio, I had about 100 different musicians. And he was up in the studio. He was the only person in the studio. There was him and an engineer. And he was, And so when we did it about, I don't know how many times, 10 times, 12 times. When I finished, I said, okay, I came up and I said, I think we're finished. And I said, thank you so much. If you're happy, I'm happy. And I said, we have this, because I was so sensitive about his time.
Yeah.
And he said to me, what, are you kicking me out? And I said, no. He said, well, can we hang out? And I said, yes, of course we can hang out. He said, can I call my wife and bring her to listen? I said, shit, yes, of course, And he did. We just hung out.
Yeah.
And talked about life and about, wow, what a dude.
My Valentine.
And what have you prepared for your fans in the future? Do you have any gig soon or to present the album?
You know what? I'm going to go to Vegas to do a showcase. I do 8 shows, and the reason I wanted to go there was because I thought it would be a very cool idea to be able to bring people from all over the world, so that I could almost showcase the record, and I could be in one spot to work on some of the songs and just have an opportunity to almost have a paid practice to really show off the new album and to get the buzz going. I mean, I know you speak to so many artists, I know this is your job, and you ask them questions, and they come and tell you their movie is the best movie, and they tell you that their book is the best book, and their next song is the best song ever that I wrote. But I killed it. This is a record. It's so good. I know it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to enjoy every single second of what's about to come my way.
What do you like the most when you are on stage performing? Do you have any kind of trick for the nerves or any ritual before a show?
I have no nerves. My favorite thing about being on stage is when I laugh, but when I really laugh. When I see somebody yell something at me, sometimes, I'll be saying, hey, I this story about this song and I really love it. Somebody say, shut up and sing, asshole. And I promise you, I won't expect it. And I start to laugh. And that feeling when you start to laugh and your tears are coming, it's the best feeling in the world. To be this comfortable and to really laugh deep with that, 20,000 people, it's the best thing in the world.
There's a song in Jungle Book when King Louie meets Mowgli, and they sing together. For me, it's my favorite music for the Disney. Disney has such a great jazz songbook, and they sing alone and they sing together. I want to be like you. You know the song?
Yep.
You want it?
So you want it? Let's start here.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothered me. I wanna be a man cub and stroll right into town and be just like the other man. I'm tired of monkeying around. Oh, ooby-doo. I wanna be like you.
I wanna walk
like you, talk like you. You
now
see
you
it's true. Yeah, but the scat singing. And they like me can learn to be human too.
And then he goes.
Yeah.
I love Disney music so much. I love Disney so much that when I got married, I took my wife
to Disneyland.
On our honeymoon. We slept in the castle.
Wow,
that was my honeymoon.
No way.
Yeah.
It's like a fairy tale,
No,
you know?
don't try to deal me, man. Come. I made a deal with you. What I desire is man's red fire to make a man
Be like you. Whoopie-doo. I want to be like you. I want to know more about you, so I prepared 2 option questions so we can know a little bit more about your personality. For example, do you prefer the countryside or the beach, if you had to choose?
The beach, probably.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
I'm a night person.
Frank Sinatra or Bing Crosby?
Oh, Sinatra. But if you would have asked me, if you would have said Sinatra, Dean Martin, I would have said Dean Martin.
Sinatra.
And if you would have said Sinatra or Louis Prima, I would have said Louis Prima.
Okay, fair enough. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Okay, sushi or tacos? Sushi or tacos?
I think tacos.
By plane or by train?
Plane.
And the stage or the studio?
Wow, that's a good question. I think...
You love them both.
I do love them both. They're so different for so many different reasons, but probably the stage.
The stage.
I love being with all those beautiful... I really like being with all the beautiful people, man. I can... You know, I used to do it for nothing. I used to go and work the clubs and be so happy that there was just somebody there, you know? And now they pay. Oh my God, I can't believe they pay.
Whatever happened